Hello. Hello. We are just gonna do some compiler bug reports. It's not gonna be super long. We've got like an hour and a half before I go do things. So I'm gonna go into high security mode. We're gonna check the email. We're gonna check the email. Oh, my stream isn't muted. Oh, my why is it doing that? All right. It never does that by default. High security mode needs to become big again. Okay. Okay. Um, so internal compiler error. Minus symbol placed before the scope file. Okay. Well, that's really stupid, but we might as well do that. Sometimes we hunt for bugs with maximum impact. Sometimes we don't. All right. Oh my God. This one's going to be stupid. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's even worse, though. That's like, okay. 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 In an expression which is illegal. What would I do here? We just return. All right. All right. Binary undeclared identifier. It's still, oh, wait, we're reporting the error. I would have, oh, I guess the ice was not, okay. I'm not, I'm not in retrospect surprised by the fact that that's still infinite looping. Why is it giving me that? Is it state reported error? Fuck it. Why is Visual Studio so useless? It has all this stuff. Yeah, it's state. Okay. It has like all this stuff, and it's just not tuned for like anyone who actually programs. It's insane. Okay, it's still not fucking doing it. What the heck is going on? So we break. Oh, this doesn't. I don't like adding this here, but whatever. I don't like adding that. What is happening? Why is this not? This is insane. This is literal. This is supposed to be an easy problem. Can we break out of? Oh, because fucking. Thanks, Visual Studio, for being bad at parentheses. All right. I literally saw that continue right there before when we edited that code, and then my brain just conveniently forgot about it. All right. Better, better, better. Thank you. I mean, this assert is kind of wrong now, but where did we put it? Okay, instead of forcing it, I'm going to change the assert. Hey, okay, so the whole thing is we usually don't report errors from there. And so I could have handled this a different way, except that we do report an error here. So, I mean, it's something that we want to be able to do, I think. We want to make sure that that's okay. All right, so how's it going, everybody? Dude, we haven't shipped a beta since December 31st. Oh no. Fixed a bug. Fixed ice infinite error loop when using scope in an expression, probably only in data scope. Well, we don't know that for sure. Okay. Now I think Sokoban's broken right now. So, or maybe it's fixed. Maybe it's fixed. Wow, this sure is taking a long time. Well, I guess that's how slow debug LLVM is now. Yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. All right. So that is fix number one. No matter what happens going forward, we improved the compiler a small amount on tonight, January 11, 2026. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, because we had this one. All right. Okay. I'll go back into high security mode. I'll get another mail out of the mailbag. How do I... Can I rotate this? Rotation. I think we need 30 degrees. Minus. There we go. That's quality. That's quality. Okay. Mailbag. Mailbag. We got a good 10 bugs that came in recently. Oh, this one's bad. I don't know how this one got through, honestly. I don't know how this one got through. So I read this email the other day. In fact, not only do I not know how this bug got through, I swear we fixed it already. And I don't know what happened. Like, I remember this bug. Okay, this bug is when you call table add, right? Oh, you know what it is? Okay. So basically we call table ensure space and it calls expand, but expand only doubles the size of the table. All right. And you know, so we basically could change this. So if you call this manually, I think what's going on is this used to be just an internal function. right? And then we made it external without checking, right? So if you call this with a number of items that's more than double the size of the table, then it won't do it. So we have two ways of fixing this. One is we could change this expand function. To take an arbitrary size, but then we're going to have to do we power of 2 the table size? I don't think we do we? So the walk table macro. No, it is power of 2 because yeah. Okay. Anyway, so one thing we can do is we could just change this to while, and it'll just be wasteful if you pass it a large number of items. Let's see what was suggested by the mailbag. Diff later. Oh, it's a single file. Okay, so this one is downloads. Can I swap? Can I swap? Okay. Table.slots filled plus items. No. No. Oh, no, but he made expand. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Except, what did he do for the other calls to this? Or did he just make it? I mean, oh, is it not even called anymore? Wait, ensure space. Oh, it's not even called internally anymore. Okay, but then for his table expand, I see. He's assuming it starts as power of 2. Okay, that's not really right because you couldn't start with a table of size 0. Also, he's fucking adding 1. So this is why you never take unsolicited code submissions, or not unsolicited. You never just take unaudited things. All right. Because this ain't power of 2. Let me double, triple check. So we have this internal resize memory. Yeah. So he needs to do this. All right. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he's thinking he can just add one. Okay. Do we like adding an argument to expand? It theoretically adds some overhead to the hash table. However, um, this should always be inside whatever is supposed to be the relatively fast if statement. So by the time we get here, we're like allocating in crap. So I think it's okay. It's just, I also don't like, so this thing that he did is very cavalier, right? It's like we're just doing max. All right. Okay, hold on. New count is max next power of 2 items table dot count. Oh, table dot allocated. You should call it new allocated. By the way, that's also, I picked that up from this. You shouldn't call this new count. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, actually, this is, yeah, this is table dot count. But yeah, so fucked. Okay. Um, new allocated is next power of 2 of the items. If new allocated is greater than table dot allocated, well, no. Okay, so the old if statement was if yeah, none of this is right. None of this is right. I see. Well, so we'll do a new count here. So this is we're going to drop this back to being very simple. This is going to be all right. Okay, this is all actually correct, actually. Um it's just the expand. that we need, right? Okay. So we want to do this. Like that, right? So we're doing this integer divide. Except we want to round up. Eh. Eh. I mean, we could add 50. Okay. Table ensure space. We do this, we do this. So is that literally next power or... Oh God, this assumes we're a power of 2. So we couldn't even do how we're trying to use this. All right. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, no, this is a shitty function. Never mind. I thought it was doing something else. This is fine for now. Is there a way to, without using like a bit scan, I mean, obviously you can get the next power of 2 very easily with a bit scan, right? Is there a way I can get like the current power of 2 in a lazy way? $192 times. Okay. So if we start with a power of 2, this will give us the same result back, which is actually just kind of what I wanted. Dude, I can't type. Next power. So where do we call this? With slots to allocate. Okay, that's in internal resize memory. Oh, wait. Wait. Maybe I need to read my comments. So this rounds us up. Except it happens here. Okay, this is very annoying because the proper computation to do here is the new allocated. You don't, like the thing it was doing before was not right. I don't think. What did it do? So he was doing the while loop version anyway. Oh wait, no, that's mine. Um, Table expand. Table.slots filled plus items times 100. Expand table.slots filled plus items. And then once, so that's the new count. Now that's actually not correct. That's not correct because slots filled is not the same as the actual count of items stored in the hash table because slots filled also includes tombstones. And if you want to make space for new items only, you don't also want to make space for tombstones. Okay? But you want to use slots filled here because here we're determining if we can already accommodate those items in the current size without resizing. So this actually should be oh god. Now the problem with this okay, we don't early out here, which is good. Like you might imagine this code saying, hey, if we're already big enough, don't do it, which would actually then screw this up. Okay. Important, we check slots filled in the if above because we want to ask whether we can accommodate the new items in the current available space, including space occupied by tombstones. But when we compute new allocated, we use table.count instead of slots filled because the act of resizing the table will remove the tombstones. Okay? You got to get this stuff right in data structures, people. All right, so that seems right. We're going to have to test this, though. We're going to have to test this. I mean, really, instead of 50, we want that, right? We could do a using here. I don't often do using, but It just makes it a little more readable there. Okay, let's map to bool. Ensure and add. Okay. Table ensure space table items. Right? Not a very sophisticated. Okay, so, oh, this is not ensure. Yeah, oh, we need that. In Penort. Oh, it is called table. Dude, why did I name the module different from the data structure? Okay. Too many arguments. Wanted one, got two, and expand. Oh. Right. I never did this part. Okay. So, lol. 50, 350. Okay, this is wrong. Probably. This is wrong. Right? I mean, clearly. Clearly that's wrong. Okay, clearly we got to put... Oh. These are not going to line up because... Tables. What's her job? Tables. Anyway. Let's put the number each time so that they line up. Super hack. Super hack. Okay. So this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Wait, yeah. It's just this one is weird. Load factor percent defaults to 70, right? And so if we're here, we have 512 times 0.7. Oh no, this is correct. I was like, it's not going to be in that range. It is 358.4. So this is actually correct. By accommodating that extra 10, we go above our load factor. And so okay, so this is all good. So I'm going to do this. Remove is false. If do remove for one items table, remove table, hello. That's just to create a ton of tombstones, all right? Okay, so in the afters, which is hard to pick out because they're lined up, count and slots filled should always be the same. If we did a resize operation, they should always be the same, right? And that looks generally true. In the before, it's not necessarily true, right? Because we have 300 extra tombstones here, or 290, and then we get rid of them, etc. So the reason we have these is because here they're different because we didn't resize. This is the same, so we didn't get rid of tombstones because we were like, we're fine. All right. So here we expanded to 1024, so we didn't expand on the 10 anymore, right? Right? In other words, does anyone see anything wrong with this? While I grab a drink out of the refrigerator. Yeah, we could do, while we've got our nose in this business, we could fix the power of two thing to not be embarrassing, right? This looks like crap. What? For a 32-bit? No, we're not doing this. This is like, so So all this does, I mean, I guess it's a good idea. We would have to double this for 64 bits, and then I'm really not sure it's worth it. But all this does is it stomps down ones using this OR operation, and then it increments it, right? It's much better to use a bit scan intrinsic than this. Like, you would do this 10 times. It's not worth it. I mean, in 2001, I'm sure this was fine. Yeah, the Hacker's Delight one has count leading zeros. The thing is, we don't have good intrinsics on non-Intel right now for like those kind of things. For bit scan, count leading zero, etc. It only takes one extra line of. Oh, good point. Good point. You're right. Nevertheless, we're not going to do that for now. Does anyone see any problem ignoring the power of 2? Does anyone see any problem in these results? While we're asking that, we can run on tests. Does that mean ceiling or round? It means round. When I say round, I mean round. We don't need the ceiling there. Actually, we probably don't even want a round, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you know, I think you want to floor it. Anyway. Okay. I'll reply to this person. Thanks for the report. This is fixed in the next beta. The file you supplied here is not quite right for a couple of subtle reasons. So the shipped fix is a little different. All right, cool. Cool. Modules hash table. Fixed was the name of the function. Table ensure space. Not doing the right thing. If the correct table size would be more than double the current size. It's not a very bad bug because you would still go do table add for all the items. It's just you would trigger further expansions instead of handling it up front like you wanted to. Does bad stuff happen if people pass a non-power of 2 number to expand? Bad stuff does happen. We could comment that. Um, I mean, what if you pass 0? We still allocate a minimum table size. But is it legal to pass 0? We could get rid of the extra parens. I'm just being overly paren paranoid. All right. Pass 0 is keep the current. No. No. If you want to keep the current size, don't call expand. Like what? No, like adding weird meanings for different integer arguments like that sounds cool, but it actually sucks because it makes your code much more complicated and harder to understand and modify by everyone who comes later. Like, look, you know the current number of allocated slots. So if you just want to clean out tombstones, for example, that's the only reason you would call this function and not want to change the size. Then just pass the current size. We're not going to add a weird meaning for 0. Okay, what are we looking at? Undeclared identifier assert because it's namespaced. One of the betas broke trailing commas in procedure headers when arguments are on their own lines. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember noticing that didn't work, and I was like, that's weird. All right, we could do that. Let's take the W on this, and we can do that, and then maybe that'll be it. Because I'm gonna go have dancing fun tonight. Let's run this. Oh wait, it's gonna be debug. Might have to spend a minute compiling shaders for reasons. Let's say an arithmetic operation might result in 0. What would be the expected behavior? What will happen in that case is we'll either resize it to the minimum size or the current size, whichever one is higher. So you'll end up resizing it to the current size, right? But like, we don't want that to be the API. We don't want that to be a guarantee that we make. That makes it a different thing. All right. I mean, it sure Sure seems like it's all working. Basically, if you pass anything less than the current size, you get the current size, and if you pass anything less than the minimum size, you get the minimum size. So that's just how all that works out. Okay, so this is working. So we're going to check this in. Hope we didn't do something terrible. Okay, so f x int y float. So you're telling me that this is broken, which it is. So here's the thing. Now that we have this, I don't know if I love it. But like, do we accept trailing comma comma with nothing after it? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let's go ahead and support this. All right, so we'll get rid of hash table. All right. I think the reason is because we refactored this into something else. So we have parse comma separated declarations. That goes into module parameters too. Okay. It's probably just a little bit harder. I was going to just put it here, but I'm going to look down the code for a second. Yeah, we'll just check it here. close some of these winders. Close the winders. Close the winders. Okay, weird. Okay, wait. Yeah, we should break without... What error are we getting? Unable to parse type instantiation. This error may not quite be happening where I think it is, so let's look. Parse type instantiation, parse declaration after ident. Okay. Parse comma separated declarations. Did open paren false? Okay, wait. Is there a paren state? Or we already got it? So there's parens optional, which is exactly what we call this with. We could just, because this is a funny thing, wait, this is the return block that I'm looking at. So parse lambda is parse comma separated declarations. I don't understand. I don't understand why we're at parens optional, but no did open paren. I don't get that. I don't get it. Do they need to be next to each other? They probably do, yeah. They probably do. All right. Paren state. I mean, I could just break in here and step through, but I shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be that complicated, guys. Shouldn't be that complicated, guys. What am I doing? Aha. So we're saying parens optional. Really, it shouldn't even be optional here, actually. Like, really, because we already ate them. All right. In fact, I could literally just. All right, this is fucking. This is one of these things that's really annoying. Um, like this is so stupid that I'm not even really trying very hard, and I'm getting it wrong. Um, wait, paren. I thought two was parens optional. Oh, parens not permitted. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. You know, we're just going to add a new flag for this. Just for max clarity. Hey, look at that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Parens allow trailing comma. We're going to add a new one. We don't strictly need it. We don't strictly need it. But to make it clear and to allow the code to evolve more cleanly into the future, we're going to make a new flag. Okay. Hey, Tets. Parsing of procedure headers now permits a trailing comma after the last argument. Once again, as it was in olden times. Okay. Control M, not a problem. No, it still happens sometimes. It just happens a lot less for some reason. Why would anyone want trailing commas? If you have to ask that, you're not the audience of that feature. So that's fine. I understand. I understand it. Okay. We'll run it again just to make sure it works, but I'm sure it does. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it does, but I think it does. Might cause issues if I'm checking. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, wait, are these? Yeah, these are flags. Fuck. All right. Good call. Good call. Okay, that. We're going to change all of these. I think I was thinking of them as enums at one point and flags at another point. Dear Claw Code, please fix my parentheses. All right. We'll run those tests again. Good catch, Twitch chat. Okay, that's done. Hey, let's open the editor again. Let's open a file again. Okay, it all works. It all works. And that's going to be it for this stream. It was kind of a short stream. We'll see if we feel like doing another one tonight when I get back. There certainly are more bug reports that came in. We'll see how we feel about all that. And let's see who we could raid. Is there any software in game development? Langgraph. Let's build a community. Guys, what is going on the software and game development channel? Can I sort this by actual things? All right. Advent of Code 2015. Finally getting around to it. All right. All right. Lots of furries. It's really hard to find people who are experienced in actually working on stuff, you know. You know, it is a small minority of people at any given time. Which, you know, if things were functioning, then anyone who's new any particular year, like 2 years later, would be like still on Twitch as a total badass. And so you would see quite a lot of experienced programmers in addition to all the new people. But that doesn't seem to be how it ever works. You know, it's just never how it works for whatever reasons. All right, I can't do any of this, guys. I'm just going to sign off. I'll see you later. Have a good night.